Welcome to Anti-Fiction. This is a weekly nonfiction podcast where each week I, Christian Yates, pick a theme and then I trick two other people into coming onto the show to talk about stories related to that theme.
It's never a trick when you try and get me on this show. You know that I'm trying to become the most longest running
That is true.
thing, so I can become a co-host. You know this.
Wow. I canceled dinner with my grandparents for this, so.
Hey, well, thanks, Nana and Papa Stern.
Thank you.
Maybe it's on your other side of the family.
We'll go with that.
Yeah. So my guest hosts today are Alex Stern of Hush Chat Podcast.
Howdy, howdy.
And Patrick Taylor of everywhere else on the internet.
I did have an old podcast called The Odd Pod. Don't look for it. Just don't. If you want it, find me on any of my social media things at Peculiar Patrick, and I will give them to you for a fee.
So our theme today is internet mysteries. This is our second sequel episode. This is Internet Mysteries
sequels.
2 Electric Boogaloo. I'm still using the joke.
You know what sucks, though, is it's clearly
laugh every
going to
time.
be... This is going to be the worst of the two episodes because sequels always suck.
No, I disagree. Empire was better than A New Hope.
I mean, you're not wrong, but also Star Wars is the exception to almost all the rules.
That's true. So we've all picked some kind of mystery from the internet, and I told you what mine was a minute ago, and your reaction to it was that it's not a mystery. And
I'm going to let you talk, and then I'll rage after you're done.
Okay, all right, that's fair. So I picked the mystery of the fanfic My Immortal.
Please explain to me how it's a fucking mystery.
Yeah, well, I'm going to. I'm going to tell you the whole story about it. This is the worst piece of fanfic. It's one of the worst things ever written.
Pardon you. It's the greatest thing
It
I've
is
ever
the
read.
worst thing I've ever read cover to cover multiple times. I love how much it sucks.
It's like the cinematic masterpice, The Room,
This
starring
Oh,
Tommy
God.
Wiseau.
This is like the crunk core of literature.
It is. The best part is that reference is so obscure. People are going to look into what that is, and they're going to be like,
joke
it's
was 10 years
exactly
old.
like that.
Yeah.
It's exactly like
The
that.
joke is 10 years old now. Broken Side hasn't been a band since 09. So anyway, let me tell you about My Immortal. So it's named after the Evanescence song, naturally. My Immortal is barely a Harry Potter fanfiction. Originally published in 2006 on fanfiction.net, the author's username was XXX Bloody Wrists 666 XXX. I'm not making that shit up. I had to read it like 3 times to make sure I wrote it properly. That is the most 2006 your username can be.
I would expect their MySpace would have the upwards angle.
Yeah, absolutely. So the author was self-identified as Tara Gillespie, which is how I will refer to her going forward, because that username is fucking ridiculous.
I would have been so proud of you to say it every time.
So the story itself is hailed as one of the worst pieces of fiction ever written, and according to Rob Bricken of IO9, it is a masterpiece of literary disaster, which is the best way to describe it.
I mean, they did use the word masterpiece.
Yes.
So
It's a
I'm
masterpiece of shit.
Of course.
Yeah. So the plot itself revolves around the Mary Sue character, Ebony Darkness Dementia Raven Way. Yep.
That's a mouthful.
Solid name.
Yep. It features many characters from the Harry Potter universe, although they are largely unrecognizable as they are written entirely out of character, with the more sympathetic characters being goth, and all the others are fucking preps. All the others. There are constant, unfathomable spelling errors and grammar mistakes, and the names of the characters are spelled incorrectly and differently
Dumbledore.
often. Yeah, it would be like like Snape would be like Snap or Snope or Snoop, and then they'd have Dumbledore or I don't. Yeah,
Harry was
the
one
main
of my
character,
favorite ones.
Ebony. Her name is misspelled in just every Ebony, Ennaby, Egagi. Like I saw every possible variation of like every other letter is
good.
wrong.
It's the mark of a true fanfic.
It's horrible. It follows
it's
every
multiple
major
authors, I bet.
trope in fan fiction to the point where people are convinced that it is, in fact, a work of satire. I'm going to read for you now
Please do.
an excerpt from Chapter 2 of My Immortal. Here we go.
I hope you put a listener warning on this that there's some explicit content.
There is some explicit content. There is.
This episode is full of explicit content. Mostly from me just saying, "Fuck you. This isn't an internet mystery."
We'll get there. We'll get there. So I'm setting it up. I want
Of course,
people to
no.
understand how
this
bad
is
this
Act
shit
1.
is. Yeah.
We're only in Act 1. This is introducing all of the major components, especially the writing.
So this scene takes place directly after Draco and Ebony have gone into the Forbidden Forest in Draco's flying Mercedes. Yeah. Draco, I shouted, what the fuck do you think you are doing? Draco didn't answer.
Wait. Can you read it in a character voice?
I was thinking about doing it, but I'm like,
Are you saying that
It's
this
so
podcast
hard
is
to
too
read.
serious?
it is too hard to read on
That's
its
fair.
own without
fair.
doing voices.
That's fair.
Because every other word is spelled wrong.
That's also fair.
And I just copy and pasted it. Like I didn't even try to translate it.
That makes it even better.
So, Draco, I shouted, what the fuck do you think you are doing? Draco didn't answer, but he stopped the flying car and walked out of it. I walked out of it too, curiously. What the fucking hell? I asked angrily. Ebony, he asked. What? I snapped. Draco leaned in extra close, and I looked into his gothic red eyes. He was wearing color contacts, which revealed so much depressing sorrow and evilness, and then suddenly I didn't feel mad anymore. And then, suddenly, just as Draco kissed me passionately. That's the sentence. Draco climbed on top of me, and we started to make out keenly against a tree. He took of my top, and I took of his clothes. It's important to me that you understand that I am reading it as it's written. It says, took of my clothes.
Yeah, no.
I even took of my bra. Then he put his thingy into my you-know-what, and we did it for the first time. Oh, I screamed. I was beginning to get an orgasm. We started to kiss everywhere, and my pale body became all warm. And then, what the hell are you doing, you motherfuckers? It was Dumbledore.
Wait, hang on. You have to make sure that you tell them how many dots there are.
So, yeah, that's
It's
a very
supposed to be a
constant
very
thing.
long
It's like,
pause.
it was Dumbledore. There's like eight dots in the
Yeah.
ellipses.
I cannot
It's-
believe I've never heard of this before. This is
It is
the greatest thing I've ever heard in my life.
wonderful. It
That's
is.
the best line of the
You
whole
can
thing.
still find it in its entirety, completely unedited, complete with author's notes.
The
Because
author's notes
every
make it,
chapter,
man.
she has author's notes.
Oh, God.
And
during the story.
it's
Okay.
and it's
Okay.
awful. So you might be wondering,
You can also listen to the audio version on YouTube.
yes.
animation.
And actually, the guy
With
who
animation.
With anime.
Cecil Baldwin from Welcome to Night Vale did a dramatic reading at a podcast convention or a poetry convention or something like that. He did a dramatic reading of it as well, just like the first chapter or two, and it's fantastic. So you might be wondering, what's the mystery here? So first off,
I am actually.
the fanfic itself, it ended just as mysteriously as it began. So nobody asked for this, and it just appeared on the internet one day, and it received 9,000 negative reviews per chapter. 9,000 negative per chapter, and then it just ceased, just in the middle of an epic conclusion, if you will. Although the way that it ends is just perfect. The fact that it just ends and you're just like, oh, I guess we're done. It just it makes sense for the rest of the fucking story. But clearly she didn't lose faith in her work because she was getting 9,000 negative reviews a chapter. So it wasn't like, oh man, people are really not starting to like this. No, she did not care. If you didn't like it, you're a fucking prep.
That's true, though.
Yeah, she says it constantly.
Multiple times.
But the real mystery, who is Tara Gillespie? Who the fuck does she think she is? So several people in the years since 2006 have in fact come forward to claim it. Most of these were in jest or as a hoax, and they were easily disproven. And no claims have ever been substantiated. There was, however, a Twilight fanfic written a few years after this. The earliest mention that I could find of it from any blog or anything was in 2010 that appears to be written by the same author. It is called Forbidden Fruit, The Last Temptation of Edward Cullen. I did not mispronounce that.
No, I'm like, whoa.
Yeah. It's
That is fantastic.
Are they trying to make a pun?
Uses,
or?
I did not write down the name of the author for that one.
you're saying it could
but
be-
it is also eerily similar to XXX Bloody Wrist 666XXX.
Thank you.
You're welcome. It is eerily similar to that. The actual narrative is like very similar. There's fewer typos. There's not no typos.
Does it
the
have-
character's name is misspelled in the first sentence. But
Does it have author notes?
it does have author notes. It also like is formulaically like when she introduces
Yeah.
herself. Hi, my name is Ebony Darkness.
Yeah,
Dimension Raven Way. I have the fucking beginning of that shit memorized. She does the same thing in that Twilight fanfic. So people think that they're written by the same author, but it's not conclusive, unfortunately. So some people do think that it's a work of satire. Consensus on Encyclopedia Dramatica, however, is that the network of related accounts that were all communicating back and forth about this fanfic and the sheer size of the work would prove too difficult to be a fake. Like, the amount of work that would have to go into it as a work of satire is too damn much for it not to be written in earnest. So that's part of it. We don't know whether somebody was like, you know what, I hate bad fanfic. I'm gonna write the worst fanfic. Or if somebody was like, you know what I love, Harry Potter and vampires. I'm gonna combine the two.
Make my own OC
and make the greatest work of fanfic ever. And it turned out that it sucked. We don't know.
Shocker.
Yeah. Now, in March of 2017, flash forward a little bit, we got the closest to this mystery being solved that we probably will ever get. In March of 2017, young adult author Rose Christo stated on her Tumblr that she co-authored My Immortal. She posted an update to a previously unknown fiction press account seemingly related to Tara that August. Macmillan Publishing stated that they had found the author of My Immortal, that it was in fact Rose Christo, and that they were prepping to release her memoir entitled Under the Stars, The Search for My Brother and the True Story of My Immortal. She said, quote, I would never have come forward about My Immortal if not for the fact that it coincided with the things that happened to me as a teen, which I cannot imagine anything happening in anybody's life that would lead them to writing that. But
you see it as like symbolic, and she's taking herself and putting herself in other situations.
correct. Yeah, it's escapism.
Yeah.
For sure. And from what I understand, the things that were going on in her life at the time, maybe she did need that kind of escape. But she also said that it was a work of satire. Christo's brother, however, refuted several claims in the memoir, and the memoir was canceled after Macmillan found factual errors in Christo's story. Her brother said he did not know if she wrote My Immortal, but that she did enjoy ridiculing bad fan fiction. Christo confirmed many of her brother's claims, but reiterated that she was in fact the author. The overall consensus is that Christo is probably not the author, but it is one of the most reasonable claims made. in regards to who the author actually is. But the fact that Macmillan canceled her memoir entirely after somebody was poking holes, somebody that she was directly related to was poking holes in her memoir's narrative, suggests to me that maybe she was full of shit. And we will never know what has happened to Tara Gillespie.
She's dead.
She could have been telling the truth.
She could have been.
And she could have just been embellishing some things and then got called out for it.
And that was actually her response, was that, like, she did change some things in order to protect her family's identity and, like, their privacy and things. And I'm like, it's a fucking memoir. You are using a pen name, and, like, it doesn't make it. Why embellish? Why say you wrote My Immortal, except for that Macmillan is going to really want to publish your memoir if you came out as the author of My Immortal. I think she did it for the publicity.
I feel like she is
That
right
makes
though in
sense,
saying
yeah.
co-authoring it, because after you think of it, people could just like lose interest in a project, and then people just stop writing it, and then everybody got confused about who was writing what, or they were like, I can't do this anymore.
Right. And she did write with a not necessarily a co-author, but it's called a beta, I guess, in fan fiction writing. It's like an editor who also like makes sure that like, or like comes up with cool ideas. They're like your first reader, right? So like before you put it out into the world, they proofread it and they say, what if you did this? Or like, hey, change these spelling errors. By the way, the fact that she had a fucking editor and there were still that many goddamn spelling errors.
Fire the editor.
Right? Kill the editor. There was also, for a little bit of time in the early 2000s, right around this same time, there was a YouTube channel with these two sisters who, they're creepy as fuck little videos to watch. I don't know why they're so creepy. It's just like them lip syncing like Evanescence songs and shit. And people are pretty sure, because the username for, I forgot to look this part up, but the username for it or something was something related to the My Immortal account network, and so people were pretty sure that one of those two girls in the video was Tara Gillespie. But those videos also ended just as mysteriously as they began, and there hasn't been an update since 2007 or something. So we'll never know. We'll never know.
I hate that you showed me. That's a mystery.
Yeah,
Terrible mystery.
a terrible
I'm
mystery. Got him. All right. Well, so that's my story. Alex, would you like to share what you've brought with you today?
Nothing would please me more.
Let's just you bleach that last bit out of our memories, please.
Give me a real mystery, please.
Just going to take a little quick scroll through our eye bleach real quick before I continue on here. My mystery is the mystery of Cicada 3301.
Nice. Okay.
So this was one. It was kind of weird, actually. I saw conflicting things. I'm not sure if they initially came out and identified themselves as that name, or if people just pieced it together based off
like some part of the code or something.
Super
yeah,
sleuthing.
like they put up the code and there was the image of the cicada, and
Okay.
I think people just started calling them that and they ran with it. So conflicting reports. They just refer to it as that's what they called themselves. But anyway, on January 4th, 2012, an image was posted on 4chan's BNX boards. The image contained text challenging excuse me text challenging those who read it to find the message hidden within it. And it was basically saying we were looking for highly intelligent individuals and we're looking to recruit, et cetera, et cetera.
They should have posted on the Rick and Morty subreddit.
This is 4chan, man. Why would you even bring up? No.
It was also
Not
a
the
couple years
fridge.
before
We're
Rick
looking
and
in
Morty
the
did
arm.
a thing.
We're
I don't
looking in
think
the
Rick and Morty
armpit,
existed
not
at
the
It
that
did.
fridge.
time.
Yeah.
2012? No, they didn't.
Armpit of the internet, not the fridge.
I'm sure it's been brought up there now, though.
Yeah, probably.
But anyways, what was I? So users were quickly able to find the message by opening the image into a text editor program, and from there the puzzle solvers were led to clue after clue, including physical signs posted in various cities across the world. After about a month, Cicada 3301 announced that they had found the people they were looking for. The organization would publish follow-up puzzles in 2013 and 2014. As far as anyone outside the organization knows, no one was able to fully complete the 2014 puzzle, which revolves around deciphering the, I might not be pronouncing this correctly, the Liber Primus?
Yeah, that sounds fine, yeah.
A sacred book distributed by Cicada 3301, supposedly containing the final round of clues. Puzzles published online after 2014 did not contain their PGP signature. I don't know what that means, but I assume it means
so it might have been like somebody else pretending to be Cicada 3301.
Yeah, so as far as people are kind of just assuming on this one that their actual activity stopped in 2014 and everything after that has not been actually there.
Okay.
So this is kind of just focused on between 2012 and 2014.
Okay.
So the puzzles have a focus on data security, cryptography, and especially steganography.
Yeah.
Probably didn't pronounce that right.
No, that sounds right.
If you know what it is, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Which is, I would explain it, which is when a file concealed within another file, such as the case with the first clue ever published. Okay, whatever. Anyways. So, given the mysterious nature of the Cicada 3301 puzzles, it is only natural that people want to know what kind of organization would be behind them. As of now, no one has figured out for sure who is behind the puzzles or what their actual purpose is. But that uncertainty has led to much speculation.
Well, because you said it was like data security and stuff like that was what the puzzles were.
Yeah, so it kind of seemed like some hacking, some like security breach stuff. It gets into it more here. Like that's
probably
kind of where they're
some black hats.
Yeah, basically.
Right.
So the only clues that anyone has to go on are the puzzles themselves and the PGP signed messages from the organization. The first message from the group, which contains their stated purpose of finding highly intelligent individuals, along with the fact that when physical clues were used, they appeared at about the same time in so many distant locations, has led most people to speculate that the group must be large and well-funded. Some speculation has been more specific.
Or it's just one guy with like 1 million airline miles.
What's the card you get? Like, isn't there a special?
Oh, like the black card?
Yeah, the black card.
It could be. They were saying because they appeared so quickly that.
Oh, I gotcha.
Oh,
a little difficult to pin on one person, but
unless they were planted ahead of time
and paid off.
But anyway, yeah, I guess they wouldn't have known it was there beforehand. Yeah. True. Some speculations are more with some assuming the puzzles are recruitment tools for government agencies such as the NSA, CIA, or MI6. Others have guessed that they might be part of a recruitment process for the Freemasons or an unspecified cyber mercenary group. Other theories are more sinister, however, with some claiming that the organization puzzles must be attempts to recruit for a cult, or even simply an attempt to make people comfortable with an occult ideas, due to mostly the certain clues that reference occult writers such as Blavatsky or Crowley.
Okay.
Some have suggested still that the puzzles are only an ARG or alternate reality game, and there is no deeper motive. An alternate reality game, by the way, if you don't know, is just literally this. Someone, usually you see it for like video games or TV shows where they'll put like cryptic websites.
Marble Hornets, which we talked about in the first episode.
That basically it's just somebody's just having some fun interactivity. And
but I mean, usually they have some kind of narrative to it, though, right?
Usually,
like,
yeah. That there's
this
some
is more
kind
like,
of,
what do they call it? Geocaching, almost?
Yeah, basically. That there wasn't a specific narrative. It was literally just a bunch of seemingly unconnected puzzles, just testing how smart you were, allegedly.
Highly intelligent individuals.
How fucking funny would it be if, like, Dan Harmon and Justin Roiland came out later as the creators of this? Like, yeah, we were seeing how smart people were, so that way we could see if there were enough smart people to keep Rick and Morty on the air if we were to release it.
I love how you're just reaming into the fact that people on the internet claim to be smarter because they watch Rick and Morty.
Listen, I love Rick and Morty as much as the next guy, and I'm stupid as shit, so...
I mean... That's how you know you're slightly more intelligent than most, because you don't have to. A lion doesn't have to say that it's a lion.
That's true. It just roars, and it's a lion.
To be fair, though, you take a peek inside the Rick and Morty sub, and it's.
Oh yeah, no, it's chaos.
It is. It's every day. It's just
first rule: don't go on Reddit. Done.
Well,
happier internet existence.
I break that every 5 minutes.
That's fair.
I've broken that since we've been at this table.
Reminds me of my old 4chan days.
So anyway.
Talking about the RNG stuff. However, this is unlikely because no individual or group has taken credit for the ARG or attempted to monetize it in any way. The secrecy surrounding what happens with those who have actually solved the puzzles also works against this theory, as there would be no reason to hide the fate of the solvers if this was merely an ARG. There's also the matter of the scope of the puzzles, especially the physical clues. While not impossible, it is highly unlikely that a person or group running an ARG would go to those lengths.
Can you still figure it, like, go through and, like, do all this stuff? Like, all the puzzle solves, like, that are there?
No, it mentions it later in this, but I'm pretty sure they took everything down, as far as I'm aware. I'm sure some people have probably archived it, so you could probably go and check it out.
It's probably on the Wayback Machine or something.
Right. I'm sure somebody's cataloged, like, everything, like, even pictures of the real-world stuff. So, since the end of the 2012 puzzle, a handful of people have come forward claiming to have been recruited by Cicada 3301 and giving details about what the organization expected them to do. The most notable of these was Marcus Wayner. Wayner?
Sure. Penis.
It doesn't sound like
is how you pronounce that.
So we're cool.
So he gave an interview to the Rolling Stone in which he detailed his experience. Wayner, I'm just going to call him Wayner because I don't want to say Wiener. Wayner claimed to have solved the 2012 puzzle as part of a group, which included his friends Technology, and this is the most hacktivist thing I've ever seen in my life, that he spelled it TEKK dot.
Oh my God.
NOLAGI. That
is some 1999 dial-up connection bullshit.
Right?
Nah, that's perfect anonymity. I miss the old internet.
I want to steal this name. That is just a perfect
Don't let
capsule of the
technology
90s
find
right
you,
there.
man. He will take his name back. Or her. Who knows?
And he goes by Tech, too. That's his nickname.
Of course. Yeah.
Naturally. So,
His real name's
and it was
Ted.
just saying they both basically gave interviews around this time about working with them. So Wayner and Tech have said that of those that solved the puzzle in time were then given an interview in which they were questioned about their opinions on intellectual freedom and censorship, among other things. Both of them evidently gave the answers the group was looking for, as they were then invited, along with about 20 other people, to a private forum on 4chan. The winners of the 2012 puzzle were told that Cicada 3301 was an organization that was made up of multiple different cells known as broods, all of which operated independently. The task that was then given to their brood was to create a new software that would fit with the group's ideology as it had been explained to them. The brood then began development on a project they called, I'm not kidding, Cakes, the Cicada Anonymous Key Escrow System, which was intended to protect whistleblowers.
Okay.
Literally called Cakes.
Yeah. No.
I'm that's how I know this story's a lie.
It's not, though. Because you give you give a whistleblower. Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. These are the jokes.
Never trust the cake.
Yeah.
So Tech soon became bored with the project and quit, but Wayner persevered. However, by the end of 2012, he was the only person from the original brood still active on the forum. Wayner made requests to the groups to recruit new members and was told that they would. But in March 2013, another 2012 winner named Sage logged in and informed him that they had been laid off. Not much longer after that, he discovered that the private forum had disappeared. And there was just zero traces of all the stuff they've been working on.
I mean,
okay.
That makes sense. A secret shadowy organization opens the door for you and then goes, hey, sorry, Gan. They close the door behind you.
At least they didn't kill you.
You turn around, you look back. Where did the door go?
So basically, he said he never found out more information about the mysterious organization and had no idea why his brood was abandoned. That was literally it. Just completely gone. Not a peep. His friend Tech has his own unique claims regarding his time working as part of the 2012 Puzzles brood. He said in an interview with Michael Grothaus of FastCompany.com that communications from Cicada 3301 implied that they had infiltrated multiple organizations, with one member specifically stating that the group had infiltrated a major magazine publisher, Condé Nast. At one point, Tech wanted to publish a blog post about his experiences within the brood, but was told he should wait because the group had a contact at Wired and preferred him to publish there. He ended up not waiting, and he never found out to what extent the Cicada 3301's involvement with the magazine was. Excuse me. Getting a little ass spit reflex. Like everyone else, Tech doesn't know what exactly Cicada 3300 is. However, he said that the group's Tor site was informal and contained numerous spelling and grammar errors.
Oh my god! Here. Oh my god! Tara Gillespie was behind it the whole time.
That's how you get recruited. All the information you need is in My Immortal.
Yes. If you read through every negative review...
It's fan fiction, my friend.
So,
what if every spelling error is like in a series of unfortunate events and
like
it's part of the part of the puzzle, it's a code in and of itself?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All the misspelling words, the misspelled letter that's not supposed to be there is the letter you're supposed to use, and that's how you find out the real truth behind Tara Gillespie. The real fate.
If you rearrange the letters in Cicada 3301, it spells Tara Gillespie. I don't think that would work. There's
misspelled, obviously. It'd have to be misspelled.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's great. So anyway, he was saying that this led him to believe that it was not part of a government agency, and also dismisses the idea that it included security researchers from major companies or universities. Tech also didn't subscribe to the theory that it was a cyber terrorist organization. On the anniversary of the first puzzle, an anonymous person posted in the Cicada IRC claiming that he had been a member of the group for over a decade before leaving. The poster warned others to stay away from the group and called it a cult-like and religion disguised as a progressive scientific organization.
Oh my god. I know a certain religion cult thing that fits that bill, and it's got the word science right in its name. I'm trying not to make myself a target by saying it directly.
Scientology.
Oh yeah, Scientology. But yeah, so now we're all targeted. My name is John Smith.
You said your name at the beginning of the podcast.
I'm gonna edit that out.
Oh, I mean, obviously. I love it, Anyway.
So this mysterious message then became known as the warning. Needless to say, this message paints an entirely different picture of Cicada 3301 from the stories of Weiner and Tech. Most disregard this message as a fake, but a small number of people who are invested in knowing the truth behind the organization believe it. So in conclusion, no one outside of the organization itself knows the full truth behind it. Even those who claim to have been invited to work in a brood don't know anything about the group besides the tasks that they were specifically given and the motives, quote unquote, that they were told the group was behind, believed in. Perhaps one day the group will reveal itself. Perhaps some dedicated solvers will crack the code of the Liber Primus, and it will contain all the answers the internet has been searching for. But until then, we're mostly left in the dark.
So, that definitely sounds like a government organization.
It sounds like a hacktivist group, because, hacktivists, they can get kind of culty and religious.
Oh, that's true. It was maybe just like an offshoot of Anonymous or something.
No, Cicada 11 or 3301. What Cicada?
Right.
Honestly, it's probably a group of people. Anonymous is just a larger group of people, and then you could have Cicada inside of Anonymous, technically, because.
Or they could have a brood inside Anonymous.
No.
Oh my god. We want you to go infiltrate Anonymous.
It's not hard.
You just log on to 4chan.
First, and then you learn all about security, and then you go and pretend to be things on the internet. The dark web's a scary place.
And you put on a Guy Fawkes mask.
If you want. In public, clearly.
And then you go and blow up Parliament.
Only if you want. Totally illegal, though.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's just basically just probably a group of kids that were like, hey, what if we did this thing on 4chan where we...
Well, the guy says he was with him for 10 years, though.
Could just be part of the plan.
Yeah.
How good of the kid... I don't know. I don't believe that script kiddies would have been like, yeah, let's make a board and then get rid of the board.
Maybe this all is becoming too big and we're like, fuck it, we gotta ask everything about this. We don't want
But they said they had several different broods.
Well, that's...
They claimed. There was no proof. They just said.
Well, that is actually what happened with 858. They
yeah.
Like whatever purpose that it was moving toward, they decided to just axe it and completely deleted the subreddit, the account, everything about it, all just shut down.
I mean but another way of being able to contain information and like get rid of leaks is compartmentalizing things. So if I give you a task and you don't know who else is in the task, but you know you're working with people collaboratively, those are the people you know, and that's all you know. Until the next thing you go, oh, great, thank you for doing that, and then here's the next task. And then while at the same time, you know everything he's doing, but you know different information. Compartmentalizing.
That makes sense.
That almost sounds like, what was it, like Twitch plays Pokemon? That's what that sounds like to me. It's just a bunch of people are like, up, and then somebody else is like, no, left. Like, catch that Abra. Like, now release it. Like,
it's like a spy thing. Because that's like, in information, like intelligence, if you want to know more information about something than another person, you don't tell that person everything you know.
Right. No, I saw Captain America too.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. So it works like that, especially in like hacktivist groups where anonymity is a big deal. What was it like? They were asked about like the privacy of information. What was the other thing?
Censorship,
data security.
But those are like big things.
Right.
Like information intelligence wise. So especially if you're doing that, and then you're having to make cakes that are able to.
That particular sentence is, and then you're having to make cakes.
Like it makes sense.
The humanity of it.
Think about the Snowden stuff.
Right.
If
and
they
and then cakes would have been, it was protecting whistleblowers.
Yeah, would have been able to protect
yes.
him. So think about it. If this brood would have done what they were doing, Snowden probably could have done a lot more.
Right.
A lot more people could have done a lot more. People could still do a lot more because there's no such thing as the
Cicada
Russian mafia.
could still be out there.
They could still be out. If they were smart, what they would do is just basically change their organization's identity and do it like this. Was more high profile, but I'm guessing there's probably just smaller groups just like this doing shit like this over 4chan and Reddit and all sorts of stuff. But
just change their name and then everything else, just keep it the same.
Exactly. And they could even say like we have different motivations. They won't say like the whole like data security stuff and whatnot, that they're just looking for people to help them with specific things, and they just pop up every
compartmentalizing with broods.
Exactly. Yeah. So
you either die in organization or you live long enough to see yourself become the brood.
Yep.
Pretty much.
What was the other thing? Well, I mean, also too, the cool thing. Well, not really cool. The American government security, like cybersecurity, needs to really like thank the only Anonymous, because that's who does a lot of our own cybersecurity. Our cybersecurity is actually terrible. 100%. Anonymous does a lot of it, just blocking half the people because they're like, I live here.
And the government's just putting tinfoil hats on computers.
Pretty much. It's okay. You're American made, so you can't be Chinese. And we installed English, so you can't be Russian. Stay safe, little buddy. Just
to be safe, I'm disabling the Russian feature.
Of course.
And then somebody walks in with a red laptop, and they're like, "Get that shit out of here!"
You know what the other computers think about red?
That laptop better be fucking white and blue inside.
Ironically, also the same colors used in the Russian flag.
Oh, yeah, man.
Oh, shit, yeah.
Hi, the colors
and like
of freedom are red, white,
and
blue.
Yeah, and like
every country. Great Britain's flag is
Great
like
Britain,
that too.
France, Russia, most Russian control, or used to be Russian-controlled countries.
Quote unquote.
Allegedly.
There was no alleged in the Cold War. It was like after World War II, it was like, give back your countries.
Though, so.
Do they even exist?
Who knows? Well, so Patrick, I do believe it is your turn.
Yeah.
What would you like to tell us about today?
Today, I am so much more prepared than usual. But today I'm talking about, so while both of you have mysteries that have not been solved, I have a mystery that's been solved.
Okay, dope.
I know, but it's connected to, it's similar to the Cicada 3301. This is called Webdriver Torso.
Dope. All right.
It sounds a lot more like metal than it actually is.
Right. It sounds like 1998's hottest electronica group.
Or like a grunge band. But anyway, so Webdriver Torso is a YouTube channel that hosts a series of cryptic slideshow videos depicting a red and blue triangle or red and blue rectangle in random arrangements with electronic tones. Since its creation in March 7, 2013, it's garnered much online attention due to its enigmatic nature, in a similar vein to other mystery projects like the Pronunciation Manual and Cicada 3301. And as of right this minute, which is August 25th,
Yep, at 8:44.
it has 624,000 videos.
Holy shit.
Oh, wow.
That's
and,
a fuckload of videos.
And there are 135,000 subscribers to this channel.
Okay.
So.
And it's just random tones.
Random tones.
And then a couple of fucking rectangles.
2 rectangles. Now, here's the thing about it.
Okay.
Yeah, they're a series of 11-second videos. They're just random. It was one of those things where people were like, "What is this? Is this like what is going on?" So it started out as YouTube. It started uploading videos. They were often as every 2 minutes. Like they were uploading them like every 2 minutes or so. It was random.
Okay.
You've got people were like trying to look for it. I'm trying to find the person who did it. Oh, here we go. So people were like, "What is this?" They were trying to like figure out what it was. It snowballed into like getting onto like the BBC and the Guardian, like newspapers and news programs. However, an Italian blogger who goes by the name Cicada Ventuno deserves props. Well, I mean, like Cicada Ventuno.
Oh, okay. Yeah, all right. I guess that is how it's pronounced. Yeah.
Probably he's basically the person. I can't say he because they don't actually say. But Cicada Ventuno is probably the person that deserves the most credit for solving the puzzle. Basically, Ventuno discovered that it was connected to a network of accounts called YT Upload Test Partner _Torso. Further pulling it revealed more accounts with similar videos, which some were private, some were pulled. Google account, like Google Plus account associated with it, was also linked to a random Facebook page and a Twitter account, both of which have been since taken down. But, however, what happens is the links were removed too late because Ventuno was able to find enough information to take him to the next step, which it mentioned. The Facebook account mentioned a Johannes Lettner, I think, a Google employee who happened to be friends with a fellow employee, Maddie Gruber, who was based in Zurich. Maddie was a name directly mentioned in the Eiffel Tower clip, which is a clip that doesn't have red or blue shapes. There's another one that's an episode of Aqua Teen Hunger Force that's dubbed in French.
Okay.
Continue finding.
That's random as fuck.
The Ventuno kept finding images of the Zurich Google office. Some of the lights and the desk lamps matched. As evidence was piling up. Hang on. So there is a video that was posted called TMP capital R lowercase k capital R capital L 85. In the video, you've got your stereotypical squares, and then at one point you see the red silhouette of Rick Ashley dancing.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Essentially, at that point, everything got really weird, and we were like, "What?" And clues started coming up that YouTube and Google were keen to stoke the coals of the curiosity too. They started, if you'll be treated the Easter egg, that was a thing. It reached its tipping point at that. They suggested that the videos could have originated from Google directly. A few official hat tips to the account via the YouTube menu Easter egg and the Google Doodle. We decided to ask the video website. And here is the official statement. We're never going to give you uploading that's slow or loses video quality, and we're never going to let you down by playing YouTube in poor video quality. That's why we're always running tests like Webdriver Torso.
Played like a damn fiddle. Oh my god.
Oh my god.
The whole channel is just a way that Google keeps tabs on quality.
They're just testing the video and audio.
And
people are like,
to make
"What
sure
the
it's
fuck
a thing.
is this?" And meanwhile, they're like,
It's
"This is my
nothing.
9 to 5." What do you?
It's literally made so that you can just the account going viral was just an accident, and Google happened to be more than happy to have fun with
So why were they linked to the other things? Were they just like testing the streaming quality, like by linking the video?
Yeah,
to
being able to Facebook, to be able to link it anywhere. Because if you're going to have
Okay.
something, they test it against
I gotcha.
the original upload and then the upload thing.
That's
Wow.
fucking ridiculous. Oh, a big hoopla over nothing.
Yeah. Google and YouTube, Rickrolling.
And then the
forever.
Rickroll. That's classic.
I mean, that's some good internet. That's wholesome good internet. There.
Right.
I miss the
my
internet.
favorite.
Yeah, that's the golden peak of the internet right there.
That's now one of my favorite Rickrolls of all time.
Do you want to watch the video?
Yeah, we can.
We can.
after.
We can just have sound. It's only
I don't know
11
if
seconds.
I don't know if it'll pick up. Is what
It
I'm
shouldn't.
saying.
I'll have my sound down.
This is it. It's just.
Wait for it.
This is the stupidest thing I've ever seen.
There you go.
That's literally how it ended.
That was like, well, no, I mean, they're still uploading videos. It's just
Well,
their
that's
test
how
driver.
they-
But yeah,
That's how
that
the
was
mystery
the
ended
big, that
up.
was the big thing. They're like,
People are like, "Oh my god,
okay.
there's another one," and then they're like, "What the heck is it on it? What am I watching?"
Holy shit.
Yep. So there you go.
That is now my second favorite Rickroll of all time. The best one was when the Sesame Street float was in the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, and then fucking Rick Astley came out on that float, and
I
I'm like,
saw that.
"Why the Muppets? Why the Muppets?" And then he just sings "Never Gonna Give You Up," and I'm like, I just got Rickrolled by live television.
Yep. Because that's still
On a Muppet float.
because the best
on
thing
Thanksgiving.
is still a wonderful, wholesome prank.
Yeah,
It is the best clickbait.
it is true.
Which also,
He's got a new album out, or a newer album out now too.
Toot. I also wrote a song called Clickbait. It's all about clickbait articles.
Well, shit. I did not expect that to end with a
Yep,
Rickroll.
there you go. Yep.
Because
Google loves Rickrolling people, and so does YouTube.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
The
internet loves a good Rickroll.
I mean, YouTube did that entire day of April Fool's Day where it didn't matter what video you clicked on. It was just Rickroll. It would just take you to Rick Ashley's Never Gonna Give You Up.
When it comes to the Rickroll, we're never gonna give it up.
Nope.
We're never gonna let it down.
You'll never see it coming. Like John Cena. That was...
But it's just that over top of the video.
Of course. No, you just take the video, you take the audio out and put John Cena audio on the Rick Ashley video.
Well, so I guess that'll do it for this episode of Anti-Fiction, y'all. Thank you for stopping by and being on the show today, guys.
Absolutely.
Always.
Some great mysteries today. All three of us had great mysteries.
I was so prepared this time.
I'm impressed. Yes, I was very proud.
I've improved. I'm showing you that I can be a good co-host.
So, listeners, you can remember you can always follow Patrick all over the internet at Peculiar Patrick on your Twitter, your Instagram, your Snapchat.
Oh, I don't have Twitter anymore, actually.
Your Instagram, your Snapchat,
And Facebook. You can find me on
and
Facebook.
Facebook.
Too. But yeah, I got rid of Twitter because of Will Wheaton got rid of his Twitter.
Oh, so then you were like, oh well.
Well, the
Wheaton's
reason he
doing
got rid
then
of
I'm doing
it.
too.
Well, the reason he got rid of it is because Twitter has become a platform for Nazis.
Oh yeah, well that's
and-
true. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, listeners, we're gonna keep our Twitter account.
I'm not saying anyone else should. I'm just saying Nazis are on Twitter.
No, if you're a Nazi, please don't tweet at us. But if you're not a Nazi, please tweet at us at
No, if you're a Nazi, tweet at us
AntiFictionCast.
so I can
You can also
find
follow
you.
us on Instagram at AntiFictionCast and email us at antifictioncast@gmail.com. You can send us your hate mail and your fan mail and your questions, comments, concerns, conspiracy theories. If you have an internet mystery that you want to share with us, send it to us. Email us. Call me, beat me if you want to reach me.
Oh, good God.
Thank you. I'm glad that.
Wait, where can we find you, Alex Stern?
You,
Oh, yes. You can find Alex on Hush Chat Podcast, which is
Yeah.
available on Radio Public.
Radio Public is our preferred platform, but you can also find us on iTunes and SoundCloud. And
Are you on
usuals.
Spotify?
No.
Boy, get on Spotify so I can follow you.
But
You could just download another podcast app.
Why would I download a
I have
podcast
3.
app when I can literally listen to all the podcasts I want to listen to through Spotify, and I pay for that?
But if you listen through Radio Public, we get paid for it.
Yeah. So listen to Radio Public.
Fine. I understand, and I will support every artist.
It's quality shitposting content that we do there.
Meanwhile, listeners, I would prefer that you listen to us on Spotify. It's the only way I'm able to track the numbers.
Is that an invitation for me to come on your podcast to talk about?
Well, we haven't
shitposts?
recorded in a while. We're taking a little break during the summer here, but
That's fair. So
maybe.
what you're saying is yes.
Sure, why not?
That was it. You heard it. That's actual recorded
canon.
evidence. That's recorded
That is
evidence.
canon, yes.
Recorded evidence.
Well, thanks, listeners, for tuning in, and join us next week for more awesome anti-fiction.
Whoop whoop.